Hello viewers, welcome to the start of our new Discord.js version 13 series with a Sapphire development. In this series we will be slowly putting together a multi-purpose bot throughout many episodes as time goes along. Through the start of this series, videos will be coming at a fairly fast pace, so prepare to learn quite a bit at a fast pace. Please note this series assumes you have basic knowledge of JavaScript and that you have all your essentials installed, such as Node.js and a code editor of your choice. In this series we will be working specifically around Node.js 16, as other versions may not work with Discord.js v13, so please make sure you have v16 installed. And no one's perfect at programming, so throughout my series you may notice me studying the screen, looking at my notes or code as reference to make sure I've got it all correct for you. But without further ado, let's get into the first episode. So let's go ahead and initialize our first project. So we're going to do npm init-y, and that's going to give us our package.json file right here, as you can see. So we want to install Discord.js using the npm install command. So that will install, and now we can go ahead and create our first file. So our first file is going to be config.js. This is where we're going to store our token and owners and prefix, and anything configuration wise, maybe later on we'll have API keys, stuff like that. So we'll go ahead and do a module.exports. No. Wait. So we'll do module.exports like that. So we're going to do our token. With your token, it is important that you make sure you keep it secret. So if you're ever sharing code or anything, make sure that token's snipped out. Don't push it to GitHub or anything like that, otherwise your bot could be taken over, and yeah, it's like someone accessing your account. Basically, you're responsible for your bot. If someone does anything malicious with your bot, you're responsible. We're now going to make our owners variable, which is going to be an array. Sorry about the keyboard sound, by the way. My microphone is pretty close to the keyboard. I've got my user ID there. And we're going to go ahead and do a prefix, which is going to be an exclamation mark. Alright, so that's our config done. We're going to move to our index file. And within here, we're going to do constant, and we just want our token and prefix from our config file. And from Discord.js, we're going to want the client class, the collection class, intents, and options, like so. So the next part, I believe, is we need to create our client. So const client is going to equal to a new instance for client class with client options. Now, have I done something wrong here now? Let me check. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, it's a class, so you do need to type the keyword new here. Right, so we want options dot cache everything. So we want to make sure everything's cached. And then as for our intents, I'm just going to go ahead and overdo it a bit, just so as insurance, you know. Realistically, all the bot needs to do from this episode is see messages and members, I guess. But we're going to overdo it, like I said, for insurance. So we're going to do intents.flags, and we will do message reactions. Intents.flags.guild messages. Intents flags guild members. Intents flags, and we want guilds. Intents flags direct message reactions, intense flags, direct messages, flags, probably want where is it? I'm looking for, we got reactions, presence, where is it? Am I being blind? There's got to be something to do with presences. Okay, I guess not. Don't know if I'm just being blind. Anyway, so that's our client made. Sorry, that took longer than it should have. Anyway, I suck sometimes. So right here, we're just going to cache variables to the client. So we're going to do client.prefix equals prefix. So we've added a prefix string to the client object. So now we'll be able to access that in other files. And we're going to do client.commands, which is going to be a new collection, like so. Now on that note, we're going to go ahead and make a new folder in our project. And within that folder, we are going to make a commands.js file. And this is where we're going to make our command handler. So let me just refer to my notes real quick. Oh, I hate to interrupt the video, but I've got to plug this advertisement real quick. This is HostingBot, a cheap, fast and reliable hosting company. They offer cheap services such as VPS servers, dedicated servers, web hosting and more. Using code Sapphire, you can get 30% off your purchase. Now how great is that? If you're having doubts, look at all these happy customers. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So we're going to want a commands folder. And we're going to want read dir sync, and that's coming from the FS module, which is installed with Node.js itself, so we don't need to install that using npm or anything. Okay, so what we're going to do next is go ahead and import join. Again, that's with Node.js, and that's from the path module. Oh, that's from the path module. And now we're going to make a variable for command files, which is going to be equal to join dir name, which gets the current directory name. We're going to step back a directory and go into the commands directory as we just created. So now we've done our imports. Now we're going to go ahead and do module.exports.run, pass through our client, and right here we have made a simple function. Now we're going to go ahead and do a loop and ensure that it gets all the file names ending in .js, and we can add it into our commands collection. I'll show you more what I mean right now. So const cmd of, I think it's a of loop anyway, yes it is, read dir sync cmd files, the variable we just created, dot filter file dot ends with dot js. So that's the start of our loop. Now what we're going to do here is we're going to load the file. So we want cmd files, the directory, along with cmd, the file itself. Then we're now going to set this, so client.commands, so that's what we just made in here, dot set, and then we want prop.help.name. This will fall into play like later on. Right now help.name doesn't exist, but it's gonna. And I'll show you what I mean by that in a minute. Hope you guys don't mind, just gonna have a little sip. Okay. So, gonna add our command file right there. And that's all good right there. And then let's go ahead and log it to the console that we've loaded it. So, loaded command, and again, prop.help.name, so we know which command's loaded. Got a little scratch on my nose there. Okay. So from here, we're gonna require structures / commands and use the .run function, which is going to take our client, and that will load our commands. So that's our command handler right there. So what we're going to do next is the event handler. So we're going to create a new file yet again, which is going to be events.js. And right here, we're just going to go ahead and copy and paste the contents of this. And we're just going to do event files and change this to events. So these two files are very similar. And once again, we're looping through the event files. Let me refer to my notes to make sure this completely correct information. Yep, so near enough. We're gonna get rid of this, and then we're gonna do event name equals, oh, I need to do event here as well, along with this one, and event files too. So yeah, these variable names are important. Right, now we want to do event.split, the full stop, and what's that one function called? Let me check. Shift, that's the one. That's the bit I return to the first part of an array. So that'll be our event name on its own then, without the .js at the end. And now we'll just log that we've loaded it. So loaded event, and we can just put event name in here. And now we want to do client.on event name, and then it gets a bit more weird here, so prop.bind null with our client. That's our event handler done. So we can start making our events now. So do our events folder, which we haven't made yet, and I'm going to make a ready.js file in there to clean those again. Okay, so we want module.exports, and we're grabbing our client, and we're just going to return console.log client.user.tag is online and ready, like so. And that's our first event done. Now we're going to do our message create event for when a message is received, and from here we want our owners from the config file, like so. And we're going to do once again module.exports.run client and the message that was created. So this is our message object right here. So this one's going to be quite a big file. There's going to be quite a bit to do here, so I'll try and keep it slow but fast at the same time. But you can pause the video at any time if you feel stuck. So first we're going to check if the message author is a bot. If it's a bot, we'll ignore it. We don't want bots triggering your commands. So that's that. Now we want to make our variables. So we want our arguments, which is going to be message.content.split. I'm going to try and remember this regex. Yes. And then we want command, which I need to refer to my notes for this one. args.shift.slice lowercase, okay. args.shift.slice client.prefix.length .to lowercase, and then .cmd client.commands.get command. Okay, now we could do our if statements. So first we'll check if the message doesn't start with a prefix. There's going to be quite a few if statements here, so if message.content.starts with, oh, I meant to do that to lowercase, starts with client.prefix. If the command doesn't exist, and there's one more check, if message.get, oh, What if it's in a private message? I didn't think of that. We'll do that as a separate check then. Okay, so there's them two checks. Then we want another check as well. If message.guild and message.guild.new.permissions.has send messages return. So what this doing is basically is checking if the message is in the server and the bot doesn't have send messages as a permission, it will just ignore it, so we won't get any errors. Okay, so if cmd.requirements.owner only, so this doesn't exist right now, but it's going to fall into play very shortly soon, so keep watching that. And owners doesn't include message.author.id. Then we're going to return message.reply. Only the bot owners can use this command. So there's that check. Now I'm going to make, well, first we're just going to do that. Oh no, wait. Let me check to my notes. Oh yeah, this should be fine. So we'll keep making this. So if cmd.requirements.userpermissions or perms and message.member.permissions.has cmd requirements user perms, then we'll do some of that in a minute, but I need to make a function first at the bottom of this file before we do that. And we're just going to copy and paste the same line, but this time we're going to change it to client perms, message.guild.me and client perms. Alright, and then down here we could do cmd run client message arguments, so it pass through them variables. Again, this cmd.run, cmd.requirements, cmd.help, it will all make sense in a minute when we make our ping command. So we're going to go ahead and create a function down here. Okay. So it's going to get fiddly now, so I'm going to go slowly on this one. So we'll name the function format permissions, and it's going to take a member and perms. Okay. So now we're going to check the missing permissions. Let me refer to my notes. Member.permissions.missing perms, and we're going to use a map. Now we're going to have a string, and this is where it gets fiddly. Alright, so I'm going to go nice and slow. I'm going to have to keep referring to my notes for this one, because honestly, if anyone can remember regex like this, fair play to you. Okay, so we're going to start with string.replace, and what we're replacing is /_G for global. Okay, and then we're going to replace it with just a blank space like so, and we wanted to lowercase it, so turn it to lowercase, and then we're going to do another replace again with another regular expression, which is going to be a /, a backslash, a B for Bravo, then we're going to open up some brackets or parentheses, and then we're going to have a \W / no, not the /, we have the / after this one with G, and we're going to be replacing that with this function to uppercase. So this part of the regular expression just changes the first letter to uppercase. You'll know what I mean once you see this in action. Okay, so there's that. Now we want to return, so if there's more than one permission missing, we are going to return Did I forget to do some at the end? I think I did, you know. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that bit, so I don't think that's needed. Okay. So we're going to do missing.slice, and I believe 0 minus 1, and we're going to join it with a comma, so that again there's multiple permissions, and then we're going to and written right there, missing.slice minus 1 and 0, I think that was that I seen. No, it wasn't a 0. It's like that. Okay. And then did I have? Oh no. Okay. Missing 0, I believe. Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So we're going to go back into our empty checks now, and we are going to do return message dot reply. You must have the following permissions, and we'll do 2 line breaks, and we're going to do format permissions. So this takes a member and permissions, so it's going to be message.member and cmd.requirements.userparams. And we're going to do the same thing down here, except we change this to I, message.guild.me, and client params, like so. So that's this file done now. That's our message create event. So we're going to do our final file of this video, which is going to be the ping.js file. So we're going to go ahead and do module.exports, like so. And we're going to make our help menu with our name. There you go. So the prop.help.name comes from this. The description, a simple ping command. Then our requirements, as we were just doing just then in the last file. We're going to have owner only. So if you do want it so only the bot owners can use the command, you switch on owner only. But in this case, it's not needed. So I'll comment that out in a sec. And you have user params and client permissions, which are both arrays. So you want the user to be able to manage messages, for example, and so be it. But in this case, I don't need any of these requirements on a ping command. So I'm just going to go ahead and comment that out completely. It's not needed. Now I'm going to do the run function, which I'm going to only pass through my client and message. I don't need any arguments for ping command. And we're going to do return message.reply, pong. I'm going to go ahead and take this emoji. And we're going to use the backticks. Client.ws.ping milliseconds. And that's our ping command. So at this point, we're now ready to test the bot. So if you have Node.js basic knowledge, you'll know you do the node. Okay, there's something wrong with the event manager. Okay, we're going to look into that then. So that didn't fire at all. That, yeah, I see that now. We forgot to do something here. So events.run, and again passing through our client. And then we want client.login with our token. So let's go ahead and try run that command again. Okay. What's this? Prop.bind is not a function. Okay. Module.exports. Module.exports. You don't need the .run in an event file. So that was my mistake once again. and we go, but what? Oh, there you go. There you go, my bot is online and ready. So now the bot is online, we're going to go ahead and try the ping command, which has worked. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next episode, which won't be long. Goodbye.